Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first live boating hangout. I'm Rainey, and I want to welcome anyone who is here. We sent out an email and a YouTube invite to anyone who is able to attend this Sunday. So, for those of you that haven't done this before, as you can see, there is a comment section on the. I have it on the right of my screen. I don't know if it's on the right for everyone's. And so you can type in the bottom of the comment box and hit enter and say hi. As soon as you come on, go ahead and leave me a note. Oh, there he is, Jeff. Hey, Jeff from Connecticut. Good to see you, buddy. How's everything going? Let's see. I'm gonna have you share my screen. There we go. Got a copy. You have a copy of the Tolman skiff, or you got a copy if the Tolman skiff? I don't know. Anyway, from Connecticut. Woohoo! You're further away than Raluca is, Jeff. So you got a copy of the book, The Tolman Skiff. Yeah, I've got one on the other side. Pretty cool book. Cool. Are you going to build one? There's quite a delay when speaking to people. Texting challenged. Tell you what, Jeff, hey, since we're the only two on here right now, I'm going to send you a link. Copy. And there we go. I just sent you a link, Jeff. And click on that link, and it'll get you on the screen so we could chat to each other in real time without a delay. And that's the whole idea of what I want to do with this site anyway. So you'll be my first patron, crew. Climb aboard the crew. All you got to do is click on that, and it should work. So it'll also be a test. So help me test this, Jeff. Click on that, and so I'm gonna do a share thing. Share screen, share. I had this all set up before I came on, and Firefox froze. It said, "Wait, we're canceling. We're shutting down, or whatever. Something went wrong." So let's see. There we go. Cardboard boat. Can you imagine going in the water with that? Or this? Or these are just some that I found online. Let's see. There's another one here. Some people actually out in the water enjoying cardboard boating. I guess those are the only ones I had there. But yeah, there was a bunch of people splashing and having a great time. And let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, here's the one that I'm working on now. There we go. Why is it so? There we go. I'm building a Panga right now. For those of you that haven't been watching, I'm building a Chesapeake Bay dead rise, but that thing is like 32 feet long, 11 feet wide, and I covered it up for the winter. So this is my winter project. And you can see I get everything ready there to put the horizontal slats. And this was interesting. I made you can see right over here. I'm going to make this bigger. Oops, that's not bigger. I made the slots to put the keelson on. The keelson is a 2x6, and this is only a 16-foot boat. And I put it over a couple sawhorses so it would kind of bend and take the shape of the boat. So I didn't get to work on it for about 4 days. Come back down, and I went to put it on, and it was too much. So I put it the other way. It seems like I kept on keeping it there a day too long. It would go too much one way or the other. So what I figured, I got it one day I got it pretty much straight again, and I put it down, and I used duct tape, because what I had to do, of course, is I screwed it into the frames, and actually glued it. You got to glue it and screw it. So I glued it and I screwed it into the frames, and without having the tape, the frames were going up in the air. It had like a 1/2 inch gap under my frames, and I'm going, this is going to screw up the whole boat. So what I did was I went down and used, every mainer's main tool they have in the garage, and duct taped it, wrapped it around there, and in the front, and it finally took the shape. And let's see, what else? Do I have another picture of that? Ooh, so that's the first boat I built down in my garage. It was actually Michael Storer boat. This is his Eureka canoe with cross rigger and these pontoons and the mast. And I ordered the sail online, and that nice little rig. Actually, what I'm doing now, the Panga is being built to replace this guy. I had the boat. I only used it a couple times because, I got in it, and you can see I'm a big guy. You can see in the picture. And the boat sat pretty well, but it was a little too low because I wanted to use this in the ocean. So this is good enough for right here in this river. This is the Saco River, but I wanted to use it in the ocean. So I decided, nah. So I sold that, and I am now building the Panga to be able to use in the ocean. Looks like we get a few more people that came on. Go ahead and let me know who you are, where you're from. We'd like to see if anybody is building anything or would like to build something, or starting my channel. Oh, do I have?
Yeah, I started up.
There you are, right there.
Hey. It's a copy of my. Oh boy, my hair. I wasn't prepared for.
If you want, so you don't feel left out. Here you go. I put a hat on so I didn't have a bad hair day. Actually, I'm
there you go.
Here.
Now I'm set.
There we go. We'll call this hat day. It's mirror. The other day, I must have spent 10 minutes trying to get this straight because it's a mirror image. So I think I'm pulling it and I'm going the wrong way all the time. There we go, I think. Am I beautiful?
Looking good.
So go ahead and tell me, what's the Tab 7, Jeff?
Oh, it's just a tablet. It's like a Samsung phone, but yeah, I've been looking at doing a Spiro boat for a long Jeff Spiro boat for a long time.
Yeah,
I have plans for the. I was thinking Pacific Power Dory. It's always such a me deciding on what I would want to build someday. I look at all the different parameters and how big an engine and what do I want to do with it, and I was pretty excited about doing I was going to do the little one. I have the plans. I bought the plans for the 13-foot or 12-foot Cheyenne, which is just a little bigger than the current aluminum boat that I have, but it's not quite as deep. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll make it a little deeper. And then you look at the amount of money you put into it, and you go, maybe I should just make what I really want. And I really like the simple ease of building a Spiro boat, but there's one thing that scares the heck out of me, and that's the flat bottom if you're in a following sea.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking maybe I'll just go out and buy a sea dory, but they're pretty expensive. You've used sea dories because they have a little bit of, they're kind of flat at the back. So then I started looking at the Tolman, right, because that's set up for rough water, and they have the alternating V. It starts off at a V and then flattens out, has some lifting strakes. And I was thinking maybe that would have less of an issue in a following sea because they're tipped up and they don't want to drive your bow in as much. Funny thing, I was out just fishing yesterday on a headboat, and coming back off of Block Island, we were in the back and they were cleaning fish, and all of a sudden you heard him throttle back the engine because he came real close in the following sea to burying the bow. So yeah, it's a pretty big concern of mine. Going into big waves, no big deal, just turn into them. So those are my thoughts. The spare would be the best. Your Panga would be awesome, because I did go into Panga this year, but they're a little less stable to begin with, and I like to jig, so I want a nice flat platform. And then you're balancing the amount of money for an engine. Do you build a little bigger? If I built a Tolman, I'd probably have to go buy a new engine, because I have a 30 that I would planned on carrying over to the boat that I build. So
Panga has there's a wide body Panga.
The X something,
no, not the X Tapper. It's down from that. I got the plans. I actually started to build the thing. What is the name of that?
Too bad I can't just pull up my computer screen, because I have a list of boats that I'm considering each year, and then I change it, and then wonder, am I really going to do this, or am I going to do it when I retire? Or just
I'm looking at them now for the Panga. Let's see. Well, there's a Robalo, which I'm doing, which is a 16-foot junior Panga, but 18-foot there's this canoe. I have a list of all of Jeff's boats here, pretty much all of them. The Quintana, that's the one. The Quintana wide Panga. It's actually 19 feet. Yeah, I started to build that one in the garage. I got the entire frame done. And then when it was getting time to start putting the wood on, I had no room. My garage is very narrow. You've probably seen it on videos. And I kept on banging my head. I remember one day I went from the front of the garage to or actually from the bow to the stern. And by the time I got to the stern, I hit my head like 4 times. And I said, that's it. That's enough. So I pulled it out of the garage, and actually I gave it to one of my neighbors. And he built a chicken coop with it.
The chicken.
I thought he was going to build a boat with it. But anyway, hey, it's all in fun. And I said, if I ever build a boat in there, it's going to be a lot. Because I think the Quintana is about 7 feet wide. And this one I'm building isn't even 6. So it's like 5 something.
Yeah.
So but this should be good for ocean. It's not going to be like the real stable, but the big one I got outside, the Chesapeake Dead Rise, that's extremely stable. I mean, you could have 2 guys hanging off the side pulling something in, and it'll hardly move. It's V bottom in the front, and it goes. I mean, that's what you use on the Chesapeake Bay all the time. That's the biggest boat there. And they have a smaller one called the Pocomoke. Matter of fact, John Toole, who's on my Facebook quite often, he built one, and he uses it somewhere in Vermont, and he uses it on some of those big lakes over there. And he loves it. Beautiful looking boat. But it's a smaller version, of the one I have. It's, trailerable. It's 8, I think it's almost 8 feet wide. See, mine's 11 foot wide, so it's going to be a little bit more for trailering. But I'm going to take it anywhere, I'm going to go to Canada, down the St. Lawrence Seaway, down the Mississippi. I'm going to go through the Gulf of Mexico. We want to do the loop with it, So I wanted something that's very stable and, that I could be comfortable with.
I forgot to ask, have you selected your power plants for that yet, or?
I haven't got anything. I've been thinking about it. I'm thinking, I'm looking maybe for a 90 horsepower. Yeah. I wanted to get twins. I'm going to have it set up for twins, but with the price of everything, I'm going to just put one on it to start with, but it's going to be set so I can put twins. I'm going to be building a swim platform. So I'm only going to use one at a time, but it's, I'd like to have something that's a backup,
A kicker, just to keep you into the waves and stuff, or get you back in shore, might be enough, because each engine is more maintenance and more expense. And
I was thinking if I got the same size though, and I'm in, let's say, New Orleans, and the motor dies,
Yeah.
I could still get back. You know?
Oh,
Yeah, switch
yeah.
to the other one, you know. Yeah, my first thought was to get maybe a 9.9 Suzuki, which is like the Honda, 350 motorcycle of boats, boat motors, just like the workhorse. That would be good for the smaller boat and the bigger one. But
Yeah, that was I have a short shaft 2-stroke that my dad gave me, and would fit perfect with the smaller the Cheyenne Pacific Power Dory. But then I start thinking I'll want to go further out, and I want higher. I want a full 19-inch, or 20-inch long shaft engine.
yeah.
So I don't know if I'll ever build it. You could row it. Do you think you'll have the Panga ready to go up to fish rivers this summer in northern Maine?
I'm planning on it. I'm working pretty hard on it. Oh, lately, the last week, I've been working on still buttoning up my big one outside. I think you saw one of my videos. I had it all covered up, and then when I went underneath to look at it before snow flies, everything was mold. Because I had so much water condensation. So I've been working pretty much every day on that thing. I cut a huge hole, probably about a 3-foot by 2-foot hole on one side, and made like an intake where the air goes down and in so the snow don't go in. And on the back side, I made like a 2x2, the size of one of those box fans, a hole on the back, and I put a box fan up there blowing the air out, and it looks like some kind of a commercial vent, kind of going down, and it has those strips of plastic on the top and everything, but it's working. And I've had it like that and covered it about a week ago, but I went under it yesterday and I noticed there's more condensation coming. So I think that might not be enough. So I covered everything up yesterday, and all the loose tarp, I put like a 2x4 and rolled it up full length, 30 feet on one side, and rolled it up. And then on one end, I made a gap on the ground, so it's like sticking up, like probably about maybe a 1.5 foot hole, about 3 feet wide. And so I just have that one hole underneath, so there'll be more ventilation. But I did it on the inside part. You saw how I had it over there with the side near the house, so snow won't blow underneath so much. It's a pretty narrow area. So hopefully, because when I went underneath, the ground was frozen outside, but when I went underneath, it was all still mud. So that warmth is coming up.
It comes up and then condensates.
Yeah, and the fan just wasn't keeping up with it. So I figured, because I had taken down the tarp, I treated it with that anti-whatever fungal stuff, and put the tarp back up, and it didn't seem to do that much. So I figured I'm just going to cover it, let it, hopefully it'll start getting cold over here and freeze, and that'll stop it until spring. And in the spring, I'm going to take it down, and my brother has a pressure washer, and I'm going to take like a bleach solution and pressure wash the daylights out of it. So if nothing else, I'll wear it down to toothpicks.
You'll bring the fibers up so that you can epoxy better to it.
Yeah. So one thing I was thinking, I was looking online at different things you can use for mold, and I saw, how they have that paint they call Kills. It's like a white prime. Well, they make a Kills for mold.
Yeah.
So if you paint it over, I guess it's supposed to be mold be gone type thing, And I was thinking in the spring, I'll take my frames off the strong back, and I'm going to paint the entire strong back with Kills. So that should take care of that. So now I just got the frames that I got to spray off and this and that. Yep. But I was wondering if I sprayed the frames, if I sprayed them with the Kills or painted them, that would take care of it. But I don't know if that's going to hinder me gluing anything to them.
Like the PL 3000 or the epoxies?
Well, see, when I'm putting I have the frame, and I'm going to have to put the plywood floor on there.
Yeah. And
I'm going to basically, glue them and screw them. But once it's glued, I'm going to take the screws off. So it's just the glue holding it. And is that going to adhere to the glue, or do I have to rough it up again? If I rough it up, the mold's coming back. So I don't know how that would work. Or even the epoxy. Is the epoxy going to stick to a painted surface? Since it's just a primer, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, it's not glossy or anything. So I don't know. So I'm going
Sounds
to do some research on that this winter and maybe call the kills people and
or do an experiment.
yeah. Well,
There'll be content, right? Put it
can't
on,
really do
try to
it outside. You know?
rip it apart.
Well, that's what I did with my glue. I did. Matter of fact, I have a video on that where I tested my glue to see how it worked, and I glued a couple, 2x4s together. And then when I went to split them, I thought the glue would just break, but it ripped the wood apart.
Yeah,
So that
and
glue
that's the construction adhesive, PL, whatever
yeah,
the heck it
PL3
is.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's pretty. Yeah, that'll stick to a lot. But epoxies, I don't know. And you're doing epoxy over vinyl ester? Oh, that's what Jeff recommends.
Now I'm putting the epoxy right over the wood.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, on the inside. Now the outside, of course, you put the epoxy with the fiberglass, and yeah. And I got like 12-ounce fiberglass, so it's pretty thick stuff.
Yeah.
We'll see. The worst that could happen is it can kind of look like that picture over here I got, right?
There you go. There you go.
I think that might be a dead rise.
Oh.
It is now.
Is it a real photo or something photoshopped?
But that no, I just made that this morning. I took I had a picture of a sinking ship, like only half the ship, and the waves. It's actually, if you take the waves and put them this way, it's actually a picture of water faucet coming out. So yeah, drips. It's actually a water faucet that I put sideways, and then I put sky in the background.
Nice.
I get creative.
I'm not that talented with my editing, so.
Well, we have 1, 2, 3 other YouTube sites that I have to make thumbnails on. Raluca's beauty site, she puts videos up every day. My hypnosis site, I do probably about 6, 7 videos a week. So it's and this, and I have a gardening site, and so there's a lot of different. We live on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't overly enjoy editing, so a lot of my footage never sees the light of day.
Well, do it live, just like this here. I mean, I love going live.
Yeah, live so much here. Yeah.
Yeah, when I record something on my own and I'm not live, it seems like I'll take the thing and I'll edit this out and edit that out and edit this out. But when you go live, you seem to make a lot less mistakes. Huh. And if you do make them, people say, "Hey, he's live. It's okay."
Oh, well.
You try not to pick your nose on, and if you're gonna be standing up, make sure you're wearing pants. Usually a lot of these newscasters, they wear shorts. But they forget, and they'll get up to go get something, and people see they're in a white shirt and tie and shorts. So some things you want to keep in mind live, but let the cat out, and stuff like that. There, I've had many times where, right now I get this zoomed up, but if I on full screen, you can see I have a door over there and a door here, and so I have a Maine Coon cat. So in the middle of teaching my classes, all of a sudden the cat will walk out the door, walk around, go this way. It's like the door flings open.
Nice.
It's like, oops, you didn't see that. I saw this newscaster one day sitting up doing his news, and as he was doing it, his infant in the back opened the door and started crawling in, and his wife jumped down on her hands and knees and ran in and grabbed the kid and tried to drag the kid backwards, and you could see all of it.
Yeah.
Magic. What's that?
The magic of all these Zoom meetings and things that have been.
I was doing. I think I told you I have a hypnosis school. So a few times a year, I actually teach hypnosis to people that are hypnotherapists online. And I think it was last year or the year before. There's one class. I get people from all over the world, but I had one student from India, and I had everybody. They were doing a hypnosis session, so they're all in their chairs like this and listening to me hypnotize them. And as he was in hypnosis, I guess his wife didn't know, and this is an elderly guy and woman. His wife didn't know he was on camera, so she came in, walked right behind him, and starts doing yoga right behind him. I mean, she had these unreal poses, balancing on one leg, and this is teeter-totter, and that's a windmill, and that's like, how could she do this stuff? But she was teetering all over the place, and he's just had no idea. Yeah. Another one, he was there, and his partner come walking in behind him and starts doing the dishes. Yeah, so you don't know what's gonna, and I can't really go, hello, behind you.
Everybody in the class all turns around.
Yeah. And it's live, and I am recording it, and so, oh well. So when you gonna start your filming?
Filming's easy. Editing is. I don't know that I'm going to start this year. I have another boat that I need to. I have a fiberglass boat I need to redo a transom on, and I'm dreading. So I got to get that done.
Yeah.
At some point. In fact, I should be out. I pulled it out from underneath the tarp. I was going to redo the tarp and build up. I have a cover over it and the tarp, and it's raining heavy here. That storm that's heading up to you it's already here.
Yeah, they said it was going to rain all day. It was wet this morning, and then the sun came out bright as heck, and now it's getting cloudy again.
Yeah, wait a little bit. It'll be there. It's not fully here yet, but the rain
is asking, are you a lobsterman?
Who?
You. She's asking if you're a lobsterman.
Because of my beard? I'm just, it's false advertising or something. I'm not really that hardy.
She goes, Rainey loves lobsters. Yeah, that's right. She's looking out for me.
Those guys work, and the mates on the boats, that's rough work.
In fact, did I show you what my next project's going to be? Let's see, where is it? That's my next project. I gotta build like, I'd say, I think I'm allowed 5. But
and 5 for kind of like sub-commercial, or what do they call
that? It's a private license.
Private license.
Yeah. I was looking at it yesterday to see what the rules are. I want to build like 5 of them because you were asking about the panga. I plan on having the panga done by spring. That's my goal. And matter of fact, now that I got that finished, probably this week I'm going to get down and start working on it. You'll see the videos coming up.
Yeah, and, I'm very much looking forward to it.
I got to do some more planing on it. I've got actually a lot more planing to do on it, and then hopefully, I'm hoping that before Christmas I'm going to start putting the plywood on. So if I can, and I'm making this one. This is going to be a quick, cheap boat. I mean, I'm using, Jeff has you put plywood anyway, but I was watching one of his videos the other day because it's one of his boats. And he was talking about the different grades, the AC and the BC and all, and you don't have to use marine ply. So since it's one of his boats, I'm going to go ahead and use it's going to be a Home Depot boat. I think people call them lumberyard skiff. So it's going to be a lumberyard skiff. So I'm going to get some of his probably B grade lumber from either Lowe's or Home Depot and put that up. And because once it's covered in fiberglass, especially the thickness I'm going to have it, it's not going to matter. And if the thing, if it only lasts 5 years, 10 years, I'm happy with it because I really, right now, I have nothing, almost nothing invested in it. Because you remember I started to build a A-frame house to cover this thing outside.
Yeah.
I bought one of those big bow house plans, and I had the whole thing, all the bows made. I got help from the neighbors, got the bows up and everything. And then I found out about zoning. I probably should have looked into it first. And I'm renting here. I don't own it. And I guess I found out what they do with the zoning. They might not come see you. They just add what they saw to your bill. And I'm thinking, geez, the landlord sees that they're going to add a few $100 to his bill because of what I did. And he didn't like me doing that anyway. So I said, oh gosh. And when I read the zoning laws, about how far it has to be from the street and far from the neighbor's house. Well, I had it way too close to the street, and it was on the neighbor's property because he gave me permission. So I know they would, So I took it down and I used the bows and put the bows this way instead of, at a peak. And, I still used it, but the extra wood that I had left over, I was able to build my complete frame for the Panga.
Yep.
So when I look at it, I invested nothing in it. I had all the screws. I had pretty much everything else I needed. So if it didn't need such thin plywood, I'd have that too, because I have 7 sheets of 3/4 inch marine ply downstairs, but that's too thick for this. That would sink it.
Yeah. And that one you're going to put a 9.9 on? Is that what?
I'm sorry?
You're going to put a 9.9 engine on that one?
I haven't decided what I'm going to put on that. I think what I was going to do is just probably come spring, I'm just going to look online and buy whatever's used on the on Facebook. Like I'm thinking maybe like a 30 or a 40 horsepower.
Oh, that's
I want to get something, probably around a 40, because this is a Panga and it's made, it's a planing boat, and it does go fast,
Yeah, I don't think you need a 40 on that. That's some of the full-size Pangas, they only use a 40 on.
Yeah, yeah.
So when they have a nice long wetted surface. So
maybe, I don't know, maybe a 30, but I want to get at least something bigger than a 20. I think a 9 would be too put.
You might not get on plane. Yeah.
I want to get something to be, because over here, I mean, I'm 5 miles? Oh, you saw when you came down, I'm 5 miles from the ocean. So I'm going to put in right over here at Marblehead, which is on the Saco River. And the river is pretty nice for getting out there, but, you only have to go maybe half a mile, quarter mile, and I'm on the ocean. So, and I really want to go out there. I need to see if I can handle the ocean. I haven't been on the ocean, and here I am building this big boat that I'm going to live on, right?
Oh, physically, like if you get seasick or anything. So mean.
So I might be building a big boat that I'm going to end up selling. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be good to get out there.
Yeah, I figured I better check. You got company.
Yeah, I did. My wife just wandered in and then realized I was here.
Ruluka said we've been on a cruise twice. So I have, but those weren't the ocean, though, Ruluka. One was Lake Winnipesaukee. Saco. When we got married, we went over there on a cruise there. And what was the other cruise? Oh, that was New York Bay, New York City. We went over there, and actually, this is when Ruluka and I first got married. We took the 4 kids that I had, and we all packed up, sold our house, and moved to Romania. And on the way, we stopped in New York for about a week, and we went to New York Harbor, and there was these 2 big, they look like cigarette boats, the big long speed boats. And they were huge. Each one of them held about maybe 40 people. So we got on one, and they both went out at the same time, and they were like spraying each other and going fast as the son of a gun. I didn't get sick then because it was just too exciting. And I always have to watch out so you didn't get sprayed, And I think the other one, look, we both forgot. We went on Bar Harbor, way up Maine. We went on a whale watch. That one I did get a little sick. There were no whales.
You should just go fishing on a headboat.
Yes, one was a whale watching.
Party boat. Just go out a few times. In this time of year, you get some good blows and waves. I don't know what the fishing's like up there this time of year.
I don't fish on the ocean much. That's the reason why I want to go. I mean, other than the ocean, every place I fished, I could pretty much tell you what the fish are that are in there, where to fish, where to cast, what you're gonna get. It's like it's boring. I fished the same places since I was like 6 years old. So I want to try something new. The ocean sounds different.
Yeah, get out on a party boat a couple times, and you get to learn. Meet different people, learn different things about the fishery. But again, I don't know what's going on up in Maine. I only know this area. So I know the sea bass are about ready to head into deep water around here, and cod are moving in, and blackfish are out of season. So, but in the spring.
Yeah, so I want to get those traps. So I get the traps, and when I get my boat, I go out, drop them, There it is.
Yeah.
Drop off 5 traps, go fishing, come back, pick them up,
See,
and I have my dinner.
nice. That would be nice.
Piss off the lobstermen when they see this guy doing his own. They don't like the individual lobstermen, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of times the guys like me, they go back to get their lobster traps, and the ropes are cut, and everything's confiscated by them, and you know, can't do anything. They got shotguns on their boat, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, throw a lobster at them. Well, I wanted to do this thing today as a like on a bi-weekly or monthly thing, and wanted to see how many people would show up. But I think people are too scared to talk. I have a little number count. I think we've had like 7 people watching at one point or another, but they're just not chatting. But I'm not going to give up.
What about the boat builders group on Facebook? Did you put it on there, or I just...
No, I didn't put it on. I just basically did you get an email from me, or did you just see it on YouTube?
Oh, on my YouTube, because I spend far too much time on YouTube. Let me see if I have an email.
Yeah, because I have a list of email people who have downloaded one of my boating books that I wrote, and everyone that got one of those books, I got their name and email. So I sent them all an email, and everybody else, I just put the video. But I might just start telling people, and as I get going, I was going to invite people, but I just decided to do this yesterday, and it was like, well, when you got the video, the notification for the video, which was last night, I probably decided to do this about an hour before. But I think what I might do is, start inviting people. Matter of fact, I thought of you. I was going to invite you specifically, but I have your YouTube, but I don't have, it's like, with Facebook, you got everybody's individual, you can private message them, but with YouTube, you can't really do that because unless they have a, contact me this way or that way. So I said, I'll just send something out. But I think I might invite some people. I mean, I had a whole list of questions to ask people and this and that. And I was even going to open my new toy that Raluca bought me this morning. 8 day of fishing, the 8 days of Fishmas, an advent calendar.
Nice.
Yeah, mystery tackle box. But heck, let's see want to see what's in it.
Sure.
Okay, what the heck? You people didn't come. You don't get to see Fishmas.
This will air on YouTube, won't it? It'll just be or will it not be on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube Live now, and it'll stay there.
It'll stay there.
Yeah, sometimes I take them off, or sometimes I'll leave them on. I mean, it's just the luck of the draw. Even with my other sites, I've done things like this where nobody showed up, and I've done things like this where I had 40 people. It's just you never tell, And a lot of it has to do with getting the right time, So here's what we got. Oops, which way did I hold it? Okay, so that's what's inside. Ooh, all kinds of cool stuff. So let's see. We're at day 1, so. Ooh, it has little Z-Man Street. Oh, it has all kinds of different stuff in the back. Well, let's see what's in number 1. Ta-da! Has lures on the front. It's all ocean fishing stuff, and I haven't been ocean fishing in years, but I'll just keep it somewhere. Oh. I call them gummy worms.
Yep, I have a bunch of those looking like eels. I have those looking like eels with little big heads, but I never really used it this year.
These look like little minnows. Yeah. Actually, they kind of look like sardines. I got to remember, you can't eat them. Okay. I could hear my wife on the other side. Don't eat them. 10 times tough. Ela Z-Tech. Catch more fish per bait. Let's see. Did that come with a note wrapped around it? Sometimes they give you notes. No, what's in the back of this thing? I'm cheating. This soft tail plastic features a potbelly minnow design and a thin pintail to mimic a darting baitfish. Rig the Streak Z weightless on an offset of EWG hook, which means nothing to me, for topwater applications, twitching it around the surface, or for skipping under the docks or mangroves. We have a lot of mangroves up here in Maine.
Me.
Mangroves. You mean pine trees? Okay. For a subsurface application, rig it on a weighted jig head. Okay. Woohoo. So my first day of Fishmas has gone by. I'm not going to open them because if they're like the freshwater ones that you get, they probably stink like crazy.
If they're good, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like the
like stinky things, huh?
Yeah, that's another few weeks. Yeah, fishing's going to be over. I just pulled apart a reel. That's what I was doing, and cleaned it because it was a little rough after yesterday in the salt water.
So you went out saltwater fishing?
Yeah.
You get anything?
Oh yeah, I got 5 sea bass, about 5 porgies, a pollock, and a conner or begall. So I was on a headboat called the Blackhawk out of Niantic, Connecticut, and it's about 3 hours out past Block Island.
Now, what is a headboat? What does that mean?
Headboat is a party boat. It'll take about 40 people, and you pay money, and they drive you around, and you fish. You line up around the rail, and you fish. Sometimes drift, sometimes anchor. It got a little spicy out there in the afternoon because of the storm coming up from the south. But yeah, I love doing that.
And this is in Connecticut, or?
Yep, Niantic, Connecticut, but they head out past Block Island, which is Rhode Island.
Huh.
And but you can hit some. You should be able to hit some places in Maine or go down to
probably Kennebunkport or something,
Yeah. But
I don't know. I've heard of some places where you can pay, I don't know, $100 or whatever, and they take like 5 or 6 of you out. But I imagine a big amount.
Yeah, those are. I've done that on a smaller boat.
Charter boats or something.
6 packs, and but yeah, the headboat is a term used for boat with a lot of people, or party boat is the other name for it.
Headboat. I'm going to look it up, afterwards. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you'll get to learn if seas bother you.
Yeah.
I've been out on some trips where, I was kind of surprised that. But then again, if you're not, you need to do this to help acclimate yourself to this.
Yeah. I'm just going to pull the Band-Aid off and go cold turkey. I'm going out there for a year.
Although a lot of people just use the medications, the Dramamine, the Quells, different things like that work pretty well for getting rid of seasickness.
I imagine it must be kind of like driving, right? If I'm a passenger, I always get sick. As long as I drive, I'm fine.
Ooh, that's not a good sign.
I think it's just because anyone else driving scares the hell out of me.
It'd be good for you to get out on some trips and see how you handle it and bring medication, because even like in 2 Foot Chop, I've been out on their boat and people were getting sick, and it's like, it's not doing anything. And some people just get seasick, even in Little Chop.
Many years ago, when I got out of the military, I think it was 79, right around then. I lived in Sanford, and one of my neighbors was an old fisherman. I remember I did go out with him. I think it was Cape Porpoise in that area. He put his boat in. He had a small boat, maybe a 15, 16 foot, like aluminum thing. And we went out just a little ways, not far. You could still see the shore, because I remember you could see the shore, then you couldn't see it. Then you could see it, then you couldn't see it. And he laughed the whole time. He kept on saying, "Keep chumming the fish, keep chumming the fish." I was so sick. I just kept, and he's laughing and laughing. The guy was like 79, you know, and here I was like 23 years old. But I figured, you know, hey, that was a long time ago, and I probably had a big lunch before I went to. Who knows? But I'm still building a boat.
There you go. There you go. That's.
Well, Jeff, I think I'm going to let you go. I actually am in another 2 hours. I'm coming back on, and I'm going on Zoom because I'm going to be teaching a buddy or talking to a buddy about doing Zoom. That he has a YouTube channel where he lives on his boat in Australia, East Coast Australia. He goes up and down the coast, and he just does videos every day. It's motor sailing for old dudes. You got to look him up. Motor sailing for old dudes. Norm, he's a real fun guy. Retired, goes up and down the coast. But he bought one of them there satellites from Elon Musk, Starlink, and he put it in the front of his boat. And he wants to, now that he has internet all the time, he's going to start doing Zoom and classes and teaching people about living on the boat. So I'm going to get on here and show him how the Zoom works. That's going to be kind of fun.
And it's old guy boat. What?
It's now that you said that, I got to think of it again. Motor sailing for old dudes on YouTube, and on Facebook he goes by Norm Walker because he does.
Right.
You got it. Motor sailing for old dudes.
Yep. Huh.
Yeah, it's a really fun site. He's quite a character. He goes up and down and, goes a little ways and stops and goes a little ways and goes into restaurants and places. You're getting to see all these different bays and different things. So it's a very enjoyable site.
Oh, and along that line, you might be interested in, do you subscribe to Emily and Clark's Adventures? They live on a sailboat, and he does really good.
I may have been with it. It sounds familiar. I used to watch a bunch of them. Now I cut it down just to the ones that build boats because I don't have time.
I think he's a retired electrical engineer or something. He makes some really cool electrical systems. So
another one I watch is Gone with the Winds. WINDS, and that their name is Winds. Yeah, as a matter of fact, they're just getting a new 45-foot electric catamaran, and they're getting that built somewhere in the Orient. They were down there watching. I guess it just hit the water today for the first sea trial.
Wow!
But that thing's like, I got to be like $1 million or so. I mean, at least it's beautiful. That's a big thing. All electric, everything.
Wow.
And sail.
Yeah. Emily and Clark's Adventures is a really good place to learn about electrical systems and stuff. Because you're going to need to do electrical systems on your boat. Pacific Power Systems is another good one for electrical. But first you got to build it right. So you look at the building.
Yeah. And then I'm going to look into the main type power system, the chipmunk or the squirrel, chasing the nut.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you got a lot to do. I should pretend to go do some work in the barn today and clean some stuff.
And for anybody that was watching, next time let me know who you are, where you're from, and come on with us so we could chat. So with that, I want to thank you, Jeff, for joining us.
Certainly. Thanks for having this. I'll prepare next time.
I'll let you go over, see all you folks next week. Now the fun part is the proper way to sign off. I could either sign us off or just shut the thing down, or who knows? I'll say bye first.
I'll just hit the leave button. Bye, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
And there it is. End transmission. Take care now.
Take care.